robotic right-hand man and degrees for discussion.
On this episode of Simply Necessary Conversations.
So something that I just saw pop up on my own TikTok feed was this video showing an AI robot helping out with household tasks. So after I saw that, I had to do a little bit more research into it. And I saw a Forbes article, because this is like the latest and greatest thing that's buzzing around the technology news world. And it said that 1X, the AI and robotics company behind a $20,000 home robot that will clean your house and water your plants, wants potential customers to know two things. First, the Neo robot has several layers of security that will prevent it from transferring into the Terminator and becoming a murder bot. Second, the company will need you to sign a waiver allowing human operators to see through the robot's eyes and help it perform tasks around your home.
So that's basically like having another person in your house.
It's basically like having a real life maid that
in a robot's
is
body.
Yeah. And what I saw in the video that pops up on my feed, I believe the Wall Street Journal might have done like a broader piece on it. The robot is learning, like it has an AI brain that has to actually do tasks to be able to do them in the future and to do them better. So they're having humans through the eyes of the robot do the task so the robot can eventually do the task on its own. And my thing was, has Will Smith taught us nothing?
Well, if you're doing that, I mean, in a way, I understand the robot concept, but like, why not just let the human come do it if the human is doing it through the robot? Because the human has to be watching what's going on
but
and
that's
looking
not going to always be the case. The tech company is training the
robot to do it.
And eventually the human is not going to be involved at all.
But, okay, yeah, that's what they're telling you. But I would always, in the back of my mind, be thinking the human at any point in time could pop back in the robot's head and I not know the human is in there. Like, no. And then what kind of task is the robot limited to?
Laundry, dishwasher, like the household things that people hate doing. That
I would think a robot would be, because of its ability to move and operate in a certain kind of way, it would be, the range of motion would be limited.
I mean,
like, how can it wash dishes?
Like, it has fingers that have like joint type things. It has fingers that can move. It has arms and legs.
Like how? See, to
it's
me,
$20,000. They figured out how.
$20,000. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not really a lot for something that's going to perform that many functions.
I don't like the concept of having like a housekeeper or a maid or anything in general, because I don't want someone else being like, even though I hate doing laundry or I hate washing dishes, I don't want someone to be walking around my house and seeing my house and seeing what I do in my house and like having access to all the things. I find that to be creepy in general. Like any murder mystery, it started out with the housekeeper that saw something or did something she wasn't supposed to do. But I think it's even creepier that it could be any number of people from this company looking through the eyes of the robot. And how do you know
that person from that company is okay, so the robot is in the house cleaning and cooking and doing whatever it does, and I'm counting money because I'm getting ready to make a purchase. That robot is seeing everything in my house, which means those people are seeing everything in my house. You know how I am about people in the house. You know how I am about people in the house. I do not play that. You do not bring jokers to the bat cave. You just don't do it. So I definitely would not like the idea of a robot that may have people seeing through its eyes in my house. And then I would also be afraid of it malfunctioning. Like, there's a whole lot to
me,
that.
When I see like robots doing stuff that humans normally do, I know they said that it's Terminator proof, but I think straight Terminator, I think straight iRobot, I think Westworld, any dystopian sci-fi story you can think of, that's where my mind goes. Because if the robot is learning how to do things through seeing it and through action, what keeps it from going rogue? I guess we got to talk to the experts that made the bot. But
And when you go to bed at night, does it park in a corner? And when it's parked in that corner, is it listening with its super sensitive hearing to everything that's being said in my house? Like, how do I know?
How do you know that it's really off?
It's just like I told y'all about Alexa. Alexa has to be listening all the time in order for Alexa to know to do what you're telling Alexa to do. That's why Alexa is not welcome in my house. Her, Siri, none of them. I don't want them in my house.
I mean, it's on my phone.
On your phone. I know, but I don't like it, and they're gonna have to work for it. I'm not just gonna hand it to them. But I mean, even if I had a human person doing certain things, I always was of the mind, if I ever got rich enough to have somebody to clean my house, I wouldn't want them in my bedroom. Like just certain stuff, I'd rather do it myself to maintain my sense of privacy than to have anybody or any object. Like, no, I wouldn't like
I
that.
just feel like it's going into a whole weird realm of, number one, we should be able to do some of this stuff ourselves as human beings. Like,
I mean, we're headed towards Wally after a while.
And if you're willing to let strangers, essentially multiple hundreds of or potentially thousands of strangers be in your house, give somebody that needs a job the opportunity to come forward.
Strangers that may not have been properly vetted, that could be crazy, that could, and then how do we know that, especially if they're techy enough to help this AI robot learn, how do we know that they're not, rigging it so that this information is being sent to their personal computer or their like, nah, I don't trust it.
It's putting a lot of trust in the company, it's putting a lot of trust in technology, it's putting a lot of trust in the people that work there.
Yeah.
To me, it's just not. No
it's
bueno.
Too much.
Very creepy.
It's too much.
Very creepy.
Yeah.
But moving on, so let me put y'all on. I'll let you take the lead because I don't do this thing that often.
What thing do you not do?
We were talking about, are we not?
Wait. Now you got me confused because what do you not do?
Oh. Anyway, let's redo that again. I'm just playing. We were talking about economic hardships that people are facing.
Okay, and I'm trying to figure out what do you not do?
One of the specifics is something that I don't do. About saving money and ways to save money.
Yeah.
One of the things that was at the forefront of my mind was a lot of y'all should be getting some Sam's Club, and I believe that this thing is also true of like BJ's, Wholesale Club, Costco, getting those memberships. So number one, you're saving on groceries, but also you're saving on travel, because a lot of them have travel and entertainment things. Like, for instance, you can get concert tickets for cheaper, or you can get theme park tickets for cheaper, you get hotel rooms for cheaper, you can get car rentals for cheaper. And they also have like tire and battery centers. Like, for instance, before I came here today, I went and got my tires rotated at Sam's for free because I bought my tires from Sam's. And you were also saying about cars. That's what I was referencing at the beginning.
Well, I thought that was what you were talking about, but I was like, okay, I thought we brought it up. But anyway, so a lot of people for years have believed that the end of the year is the best time to buy a car because it's the end of 2025, they're bringing in 2026, so they're going to try to give you a deal on 2025s. Talked to somebody one time that said that that's not necessarily always true anymore, but they did say that purchasing a car at the end of the month is the best time to purchase because people are trying to meet quotas, dealerships are trying to meet quotas, so that's the thing. But in addition to that, if you have a Sam's Club membership, you can get discounted prices on cars. It could be anywhere from a couple $100s to possibly a couple $1,000s. They have a program, a Sam's program. Like, when you go to buy your car, you can ask them, do they work with Sam's Club? And if you have a membership, they will take some of the cost of your car down. Like, they'll discount your car. So I did not know that when I bought a couple of cars, but I do know that now. So I always ask if they have, and then ask about Sam's or BJ's or Costco or whatever, and if they say no, then ask them, well, can you give me some kind of discount that is similar to what I would have gotten? Because other places do offer discounts with Sam's and BJ and Costco. So, like, can you do the same thing as some of the other dealerships? And they may discount your car a little bit. Every little bit helps. I know the economy is not great right now. So, but a Sam's membership or a Wholesale Club membership extends beyond what you're going in the store and purchasing, and then also I will say too, be careful with that because sometimes the prices are not better than they would be. Like with Sam's and Walmart especially, sometimes you're better off to go and buy just the individual item or a couple items from Walmart than you are to buy it in bulk from Sam's. So that, always check that to see your per item cost and your per ounce cost or whatever. Check that before you buy. But in general, we're Sam's Club members, and there's a lot of discounts that we found out that we were not taking advantage. They sell everything from mattresses to shoes to like you name it, they're selling it. And then the website sometimes will have things on it that are not physically in the store because they can't actually put it in the store. So right now everybody's trying to save every dime they can, so take advantage of those.
And if you go in there on weekends, you might get some free snacks of their samplings.
And they even the price is already discounted, and then sometimes they will have daily specials and things like that. So at least ask, look into it.
Don't be afraid to get a deal. Also, just an honorable mention is downloading all of the different food apps and clothing store apps, because a lot of times if you join the rewards club or if you have their app, you can get discounts. Like Victoria's Secret does it a lot. All of the fast food places do it a lot. Even a lot of the like sit down restaurants, like an Olive Garden or whatever, they have deals if you order online, like lunch specials or whatever, and you can save a couple bucks.
And then sometimes if you have the reward and you haven't been in a while, they miss you and they'll send you a discount. Caraba stays sending me saying something, we haven't seen you, and they'll send me $10 off, $15 off. So like, so if you are patronizing these organizations, these restaurants, these stores, you need to make sure you download their reward app.
When we were in Sam's today, they had like luxury perfumes.
Yeah, and every now and then they'll have pop-ups where they'll have things that they don't normally carry. So, I mean, yes, the membership initially might cost you some money, but in the long run, you probably will save. And here's what you can do. Y'all didn't hear this from me. You and another family member, a couple family members, go in together on the membership and then share the card. I don't know if that's allowed, but I would imagine. So, like, instead of you paying the cost of the membership fee alone, you and your sister, you and your mom, you and somebody else go in together, get a membership, or college kids, a group of you get it. Yeah, so like we gotta work smarter, not harder, and make every dollar stretch. Like pennies make dollars, y'all. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, something that I feel like we can talk about, and it does apply and it doesn't apply to us at the same time. Reports have been coming out that China is now regulating that influencers have to have degrees or some credible certifications to discuss professional topics such as law, medicine, finance, and education. I feel like America might need this.
Maybe. And before anybody asks, I feel like we've already checked that box.
And I was gonna say that's why I was like, it kind of applies, but none of
because
yes, we have a podcast, but I do have a degree, and my job is exactly what I do on this podcast.
Yeah, and I also do have a degree, which is why I feel like I can speak on education, why I can speak sometimes on family issues, because I have to deal with a lot of kids and families or whatever. So like the things that we talk about, we might not be experts about in those fields. But we might not be, but we have experience, and then we both do have college degrees. So like we're not just like pulling it out of the air.
What I do want to be careful with is I do think that some totalitarian governments could use this as a means to silence people.
Did you say a totalitarian?
That's not what I meant.
What do you mean, a totalitarian?
That's not what I meant.
You meant totalitarian.
No, I didn't mean totalitarian.
What are you trying to say?
Like,
I usually can get your Imari-isms.
What am I trying? Now you make me feel dumb.
Dictatorship, totalitarian, authoritarian.
What did I say?
You put it together. You put a totalitarian and authoritarian together. I swear to
God, I have a degree.
Authoritarian. She does that. She has these glitches, y'all.
Anyway, I swear to God, I have a degree. But
anyway,
I do think that some dictatorships, let's just use that
authoritarian
or totalitarian or dictatorship,
all
of this basically
bad government.
They could use it as a means to squash freedom of speech because if you don't have a degree, then you can't be talking about this on social media. You can't be having a podcast. You can't be having your own methods of informing and communicating.
It's another form of discrimination. Like it's elitism and discrimination because you don't have to have a degree to have knowledge and skills. And there's a lot of people that have never stepped foot on a college that are very intelligent, very capable people, and they know about their subject area. So while I agree that there should be a disclaimer that you are not trained or you're not an expert, but I think anybody that wants to talk about something should be able to talk about it.
And I do think that at times it can be dangerous for randoms to talk about like politics or talk about health or talk about education when they didn't fact check, they're just pulling stuff out of their behind.
And spreading disinformation.
But I don't think that you can tell somebody what they can and cannot talk about in that way. Maybe the law should be you have to disclose that you are not an expert and that
I was going to say,
whatever the material is.
They need to police people falsely claiming that they have credentials if they don't have credentials. But other than that, if your grandma want to get on here and talk about something, grandma should be able to get on here and talk about it as long as she's not claiming to be something that she's not. There's young kids that are skilled and talented and knowledgeable that haven't even finished high school. So like that's a slippery slope. I think people should be able to talk about whatever they want to talk about as long as they are not lying and they are not intentionally misleading people. Like,
because it's arguable that she isn't influenced. I think about like Kim Kardashian going to law school.
Well, but she did though.
She didn't though. She took an easy or way easier way out.
You know what? I'm gonna ride for Kim this time. Because if there is a existing program, they didn't create this for her. It was already in place. If there's an existing program that she went through and completed, where in her state of California, apparently, and in some other states, you can get your law license or you can practice law with this particular, by following these particular steps. She did it. She's just like anybody else. And you have to take into consideration, because I forgot the other day when she was on The View and she was talking about
say her dad's a lawyer?
that she grew up in the house. And I'm not saying that means anything, but what I'm saying is, it adds more credibility to the fact that she grew up in a household where she observed someone that practiced the law, may have been surrounded by people discussing the law. Like that might have been what made her inclined to do it.
She wants to do it. I'm just saying that I don't think she's as smart as the average Joe lawyer that had to go to law school.
Okay, well, if she has to take the bar
first try.
Well, if she has to take the bar, here's what I think. Even if she didn't go to law school, if she takes and passes the bar,
okay, but
she did the same thing that somebody that did go to law school for.
No, I feel like you can't compare the average law school student to somebody that has billions of dollars.
Okay, so here's what I say.
Because she has every bit of help in the world. She has not to say that she has cheated on anything, but if she wanted to cheat on something, she would have every bit of money.
Well, I'm gonna give a bit of. I don't think she's cheating, and I feel like law school.
Like 3 times.
Okay, so law school is preparing you to take the bar exam. So if you can go through whatever program she's going through and take the bar exam, it's kind of one of those things. For that matter, okay, so I didn't go to school initially to be an educator. I got a degree in English, but then I decided I wanted to teach. They told me I had to supplement my degree, take these classes to fill in whatever it was that I didn't train for initially to be a teacher, and I've been doing it for years.
But it puts a bad taste in everyone's mouth that you're not going through the normal protocol and you have billions of dollars to make it easier.
Okay, but don't pick on Kim because this program was not created for her. It always existed.
Was created for her, but she has tutors at her disposal. She has a resource that
to me, that's being a hater. Don't be mad at her because she has resources.
I would feel if she was being a doctor and she took an easier way out.
Now that's a little bit different.
But law is just as important.
It's important, but if you, and of course there are gray areas, but in theory, if you mess up as a lawyer, other than when it's a death penalty case, nobody's gonna die. Being a doctor, you are inside of somebody's body, actively making decisions about processes in somebody's body.
She could actually make a decision.
So here's the thing: if she's a lawyer and she's messing up, that person can fire her like when they feel like she's messing up. Somebody on an operating table can't wake up and say, "Doc, you're not doing that right." So I disagree, and this is the time where I can shout out. I am so proud of the fact that I have so many friends and associates that are. And this is a black woman, black girl magic I want to recognize. I got a lot of friends that are lawyers, that are, almost judges. My high school friend Ursula, hey girl, she's a lawyer. Pamela Y. Robinson, who we met through another influencer, she's a lawyer, and then her daughter went to law school. Like there's so many black women that I know, and I believe there's another young lady that I'm Facebook friends with that is also a lawyer. But anyway, and my friend Ursula passed the bar on the first try.
Yes,
and they say Florida is the hardest state, one of the hardest states to pass the bar exam, and she passed it on the first try. So like I get, and I don't, and so of course Kim is not going through the process that Ursula went through, but at the same time, if she can pass the bar,
let me just say
then she can pass the bar.
According to Google, what her path was. She completed a 6-year law apprenticeship program in May 2025, allowing her to bypass traditional law school by studying under a mentor. Her journey involved passing the challenging baby bar exam on her 4th attempt in 2021, and she began her apprenticeship in 2018 with lawyers Jessica Jackson and Aaron Haney. She is now working towards her full bar exam, which would qualify her to practice law in California. I'm
not mad at her because she's putting in a lot of extra work. She didn't go through the 4-year program.
Kim Kardashian is putting in a lot of extra work.
Unless she pays somebody to take the test for her, she has to be, because how else is she going to pass the test? I'm not mad at Kim.
I just personally find it hard to believe that a Kardashian is sitting down studying for hours to pass the bar exam.
Her dad was a lawyer. Just because Kim got famous in some salacious ways does not mean that she's not smart.
Anybody that marries Kanye West, I question their intelligence a little bit.
Well, I'm not going to talk about who people married and how that affects their lack of or having intelligence, because I'm not going to throw shade at anybody for marrying somebody that was questionable. I'm not going to do that because I consider myself to be highly intelligent, and I'm going to just leave it right there. So yeah, I'm rooting for Kim. I'm rooting for Kim because I think that she'll do good with her law degree.
I don't have an issue with her doing any of this. I just wouldn't compare it to the average person that's going through
she
the
might have
process.
taken a different path, but if she gets it, she gets it, and I think she'll do good with it.
I feel like it's a whole thing of like Kylie being self-made, like all of that.
Okay,
is BS.
now let's not get foolish. I didn't say she was self-made, and I never thought that.
I feel like when some people talk about her in her law journey, it's just like, oh, Kim Kardashian is going to be a lawyer.
Well,
it's just like,
the way I see it is, like I said, she started out and became famous in a little bit of a less than positive way, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But she's taking.
I feel that's the majority of
Well,
people.
I don't want to speak for other people, but I feel like she's taking the lemons and making lemonade. Everybody messes up and makes a mistake. So like she messed up and now she's trying to clean it up.
I'm just saying that I feel like she's using her power and celebrity to become a lawyer, which if that's what she wants to do, that is great.
There's worse things she could do. She could be using her power and celebrity to defraud the government and cut off people's benefits and makes people's health insurance go up. Like she could be doing a lot of bad stuff with her money. If she's gonna already have money and then care to go to law school and possibly, like she did with the one lady, help people that need help, I'm gonna say hooray for that and hope that she doesn't disappoint me. Kim, Kim, if you ever see this, you better not disappoint me because I'm riding for you, girl. But anyway, I say just let her be. Let's see what she does.
My point in even bringing up Kim was the fact that I feel like just because she an influencer went to do this whole law thing or whatever, I'm still probably not going to take law advice from Kim Kardashian.
Well,
I don't think that really changes anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got way off subject, going down a whole rabbit hole.
Well, the program itself, I don't have a problem with simply because there's a lot of people that traditional law school wouldn't be for them, and this is a path to it. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what she does.
And yeah. We're going to ask a Gemini off of law students onto psychology students. This creator on TikTok, she's a psychology student, and she posed a moral dilemma that had everyone talking. The video got over 700,000 views, and a lot of people were putting in their 2 cents in the comments. The creator, just shouting her out because I'm completely stealing this question from her, at Victoria Daniela Serrano, I believe is how you say her name. She said, basically a professor posed this question to the class, and she said she was 1 out of 35 students to have a different response to the question. So this is what it was. A man is sitting at home worrying about the fact that his daughter needs a major surgery in order to continue living, but he does not have the money to pay for it. He asked his family and friends to help with the cost of the surgery, but he was only able to raise a quarter of what the surgery costs. He remembers he has a power of attorney for his out of touch with reality but otherwise very healthy 85-year-old father. He could, without anyone knowing, use his father's money to pay for the surgery. However, this would leave his father with only 1 year of living expenses. In the end, the man decides to take his father's money for the surgery. Should the man have done that? Why or why not? I had an answer almost immediately, but I can see why it's a dilemma.
I think if there were a way for him to use his father's money to borrow money or as collateral to get money in some other form, that would have been okay. But to take it, okay, and when you say 1 year's living expenses, you mean at the end of that year, if he doesn't figure out a way to put the money back, the father's gonna die, or is the father gonna?
I assume it means like he can't stay in like a nursing home or anything.
Okay, so in a situation like that, I think using the money wouldn't have been wrong as long as he had an alternative way for his father to be cared for. If he did not have an alternative way, where's the man gonna go?
Where's the daughter gonna go?
Okay, I'm just saying. Where is his father going to go if he doesn't have?
But what is going to happen to his daughter?
Okay, so if he saves the daughter, then I think it's the daughter's responsibility, him and the daughter together.
The daughter's a child.
Hold on. Well, seeing that, I was going to say it depends on the age of the daughter. But if she was old enough, I would have said it would have been her and his responsibility to replace the money or figure out a way. If she's a child, there's not a whole lot she can do. She's innocent. She can't make a decision. But I mean, to me, it's kind of a non-question in that you're going to have to figure out a way. If you decide to use your father's money, you're going to have to figure out a way for him to still live.
Basically, what the question is asking is whose life you're willing to risk.
And that's what I get. That's what they're boiling it down to. I would find it hard to believe that most parents wouldn't pick their child. Like, I really think, especially if the father was that old. I think depending on, I would do a lot of fasting and praying, and I would consult a lot of medical professionals.
Mom, what would you do?
And I would ask them where my father was on the spectrum
it's either
of life.
me or the grandfather. What would you do?
As a parent, I would probably help my child, thinking that my parent had already had the opportunity to live their life.
First of all, like somebody said in the comments, this is a very American question for reasons y'all can figure out. But I immediately thought I'm going to save the daughter because, number one, I feel like any good grandfather would want him to save
And that's
the
what I was
daughter.
going to say. The grandfather probably would want that himself.
Second thing is, if we take emotions out of it, the grandfather is 85 years old. There's only so much living he's going to do anyway. He's at the end of his life. The daughter, I'm assuming, is a young child.
If it's a child.
That could live another 70 years.
Okay, and then I would need to know the probability of whatever this life-saving thing is going to do for my child. Is it, okay, there's a 90+% chance that this is going to make her well and send her on.
Like even if there was a 30% chance, a parent would probably still try to do it because it's your kid.
Yeah,
the grandfather is, and I don't mean this in a ageist, mean way, but the grandfather is 85. He gonna die at some point.
Okay, but so you're saying that you could say, okay, let my 85-year-old parent die and save my child, and you wouldn't have to.
I would be not a little bit. I would be sad, but I think I would be more sad if I let my daughter die.
There's the other way to look at it. Well, I don't know. If he was healthy, that would be different. But
other than not having any memory and not knowing.
No, I mean, if it was just a matter of you got to choose with no health issue or no dementia involved, then that would be a little bit harder. But with him 85 with dementia, and chances are not going to live longer, that makes it a little bit easier choice. But it's still a hard choice.
And I feel like helping the daughter, like it buys more time. Like you have more time to figure out how you're going to get money back for your 85-year-old grandfather than you do to save your daughter.
Because if I got to, okay, and then that's the other thing. If I got to make a decision right now, immediate decision, and I know we're talking, he has a year's worth, I'm going to save my child, and then I'm going to figure out, like I'm going to come back and figure out how to deal with my parent. Like I'm going to do both because I'm that girl. I'm going to do both. I'm going to figure out a way.
But if both is impossible.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Save the child.
I would save the child, but I'm that girl. I would figure out a way to make sure that my parent was good too.
I feel like I'm not chat, as they say. I'm channeling Kaiser, not chat. I'm not saying that you should do this. But I think it would be more, not legally right, but morally right to take the money, save the kid, and then steal something else and save the grandfather. Like
Because-
do something that might be a little bit shady to get the money back.
And here's where,
to
because
save the
when
grandfather.
this question is posed, if the grandfather was financially able to put away or save enough money to have it to live out of in his senior years, that means that this is not an impoverished family. Like they're not, like somebody somewhere, like somehow money has flowed through the family. Because if dad had enough to save to take care of himself in his twilight years, then that means we know how to get money. Somebody knew how to get money. So in an emergency situation, figure it out. If I had to see, this is what you do. You use dad's living money as collateral to go and borrow money from the bank for your daughter. Here's if there's a moral dilemma, you borrow against that money, get money to take care of your daughter, and then if in a couple years dad passes away, you're going to inherit that money anyway, and now you pay back that loan. But that way you don't have to.
Why are you taking out a loan? Why do you need to take out a loan?
Because if, God forbid, something goes wrong and you've taken his money, now his money is not there. Like it's not there.
Then you could just take out a loan again. You can take out a loan at that point. Why are you preemptively taking out a
Well,
loan?
I feel like it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, because if you go get a loan, like I said, you pay for the daughter's care. And then a couple years down the road, dad passes away. Okay, you use the money that you didn't steal from your father to pay back that loan. Like, if it's a moral thing, like if it's just
and you're
morally.
just assuming that they're able to just go get a loan, because just because granddaddy got money don't mean that dad has
You
money.
borrow against the money that you have control over. That's dad's.
But it's not going to be that simple, and that's not going to happen quickly.
I don't know.
If he needs money like this, he can't.
I feel like I would.
Time to go to the
I
bank.
feel like I would figure it out. I would figure it out. There's some way I would figure it out. There's too many GoFundMe opportunities. Like, there's something that you could do.
But at basic, you would choose the daughter.
I would
over
choose the child.
dad.
I would probably choose the child if I had some guarantees that, number one, whatever they're going to do for the child is going to work, and number two, that my dad has no possibility of getting better. Yeah, the prognosis would have to be very dim.
If he has memory loss, and that part isn't going to get better.
Like, I don't know. I mean, that memory loss doesn't mean that, you don't deserve to live.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, he's not going to be looking for his money because he don't know if he has any money.
Yeah, there's some hard decisions sometimes you have to make, I guess.
I'm just I would want to know what
I want to know what
y'all all say.
Yeah.
Breaking the
Which
fourth
one
wall.
would you do?
Which one would you do?
What are you doing? Are you saving grandpa or your daughter?
But I also want to know what the other psychology students in this girl's class said.
What's the rationale? And then not only what would you
do,
do, if you answer this question for us, what's your rationale? Why? How did you come to that decision? Look at me being a teacher. I want you to provide.
You should be looking at your camera.
Oh, I want you to provide evidence. No, I'm just kidding. But explain, which would you choose and why? Because to me, it's not as hard. It's not, if everything is as we're assuming, it's not really that hard of a question to answer. It's a depressing question, and it's a hard question.
It's hard in the sense that you're basically giving one person a death
You're
sentence
choosing between them. You're choosing
but
between
it's
them.
not hard in the sense of if you take emotions out of it, logic,
and use logic.
Which I guess is probably the point of the dilemma, is whether you're more logical.
Are you more logical or emotional? Yeah. Are you using logos or are you using pathos in your decisions? I'm teaching that right now, y'all. Logos or pathos? Which one is informing your decision about that? But I think it's fairly straightforward for the average person.
Well, I mean, we'll see when people start commenting.
We'll see.
They're probably gonna call me heartless and soulless.
I'm saying I'm that girl. I'm gonna figure out a way to do both. I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna figure it out. If I have to sell a house or something, I'm gonna figure it out.
I feel like 50% of my grandparents would have wanted me to live.
Ooh. Okay.
And did I lie? Okay then.
Okay.
Your grandma would have definitely wanted you to live over her.
My grandma would have, yeah.
I don't know. I never met the others. So
The other one passed away when I was a kid, but I couldn't be 100% sure. I'm 100% sure my maternal grandmother would have wanted me to live.
I think. Never mind. Moving on to Gemini Gems. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Well, which one do you want?
I don't care.
Okay. Well, it is starting to be sweater season. We've had our first little touch of cool air. Yeah, we had our first little touch of cool air here in Florida just a couple days ago. So people are going to be pulling out sweaters. And if you're like me, you got a lot of sweaters and a lot of favorite sweaters, but they're starting to show a little bit of wear. And you know how sometimes that sweater material will pick and stuff? Well, if that is happening, there is a way to try to salvage your sweaters and bring them back to life, and that is with a disposable razor. You can shave the sweater if you're getting a little beating or whatever that happens. You can shave the sweater and bring it back to life that way. And then also, there's, depending on the way the beating is happening and the fabric that the outfit is made out of, you can also use tape. Like if you get some really strong tape and kind of like pull the little beads off of it, that'll help sometimes too.
And then mine is something that you discovered where if you have a graphic tee and it's starting to lift, like the design is starting to lift
like
out
the
of
letters
it,
or something.
You can take some parchment paper and iron it back on. And that will at least be a temporary fix, give you a little bit more time with whatever shirt you have. I know I have plenty of a graphic tee.
You can do parchment paper. You can do a very thin washcloth, something you just put it on top of it and iron it back on. Like if the letters or numbers are kind of lifting off of the fabric, then that'll, like the heat will seal it back on. So we're look, again, the economy. We're trying to stretch everything, make things last. Yeah.
Reuse, reduce, and
Recycle.
recycle.
Yeah. The cha part though,
My
y'all.
Gen Zers know that's from iCarly.
The cha part.
But don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Period.